Ladies and gentlemen and programmers, we're going to do CodeAcademy lesson 9, part 2, creating array lists. Okay, so as usual, go to CodeAcademy. And when you go to CodeAcademy, you're going to go to part 2. And you're going to find the thing that says Learn Java Array List, creating array lists. And you're going to read this, and write down an intelligent. So the idea is that you read it for understanding, and then anything that you need a little bit of clarification on, write down in your notes, and then also ask me in class, because the idea is you want to get points for the notes, but you also want to learn stuff. So ask me in class as well. All right, so let's go back to the spiel here and see what the spiel has to say. So make sure that you, in your notes, you write 9.2, creating array lists at the top of your notes. Put your name at the top, and then have me sign off so that I see that you started the notes and that you have asked an intelligent question about the reading. Same thing. This is to remind you that you got to write 9.2, creating array lists in the notes, and then have me sign it off. All right. So now here, ask me if you don't know. Let's see if you can figure this out. We'll go through the reading. What are generics? Why do we use these little bracket things? What are primitive data types? Is the integer generic a primitive data type? If it is, put yes. If it's not, write down what you think it is instead. All right, write those questions, answer those questions. And again, if you don't know the answer, ask me so that you can learn. Okay, and then next, ask this question: why are we learning about array lists? I mean, how are they any different than a regular array? How are they different than a regular array? Okay, all right, so here's the deal. So we're going to be talking about primitives and objects here. So primitives just sit there. You can't give them commands. So like if it's the letter H sitting there, you can't say, hey, letter H, do stuff. No, it's just the letter H. It's just sitting there. It doesn't do anything. Same thing with like the number 25.00. It just sits there, can't do anything. You can't say, hey, 25.00, what is your square root? 25.00, what is the second number in your number? You can't ask it questions. Objects, on the other hand, are like robots. That's what we've been building all this time through class. Our classes get turned into objects, and they're like robots. They can do stuff. We program them to do stuff. You can use method calls on them. So you could say, hey, find the square root by using the square root method. All right. So so here's an example. So in lesson 1, we made a array, double prices equals 25. Blah, 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 right? So we have 1, 2, 3 elements in our array. Their names are 0, 1, and 2. Now, if you ask prices 0 to give you its square root, can he? And write that down. And then down here, we create an array list. It looks real similar. So we say array list. So we're basically creating the same table. Array list double new prices equals blah, blah, blah. So if I ask prices 0, if I ask this guy to give me his square root, can he? So see if we can figure that out. And then we're going to come down here. So the deal is this. So this is a pretty accurate representation of what we have with an array. Okay, so we have our table, we have our elements, boom, boom, boom. They're just sitting there. Okay, now if we have a array list, it's different in that, notice, by the way, that double is lowercase. Notice, by the way, that double here is capital. Whenever we say capital, that means it's a class, and that we're going to probably be creating an object, and that's what we're doing. We're creating an object. So you say, hey, I want to create an array list using a double object. So create me a double robot, and so we're going to put 225, 2.95, and 2.0. So we actually have a robot that's holding the number 25. I didn't draw the pictures here, but we've got a robot that's holding the number 2.9. Right? We've got a robot in this table that's holding 2.5. So if I ask that guy to give me his square root, he can do it because this guy has all kinds of methods built in, and he knows how to do all kinds of stuff with this number. All right, so there's two main, so back to this. If I ask this guy right here to give me a square root, can he? No, he's just a primitive number. He's just sitting there. He can't do stuff. Very simple. Okay, if I ask this guy to do stuff, can he do it? Yes, because he's an object. He has a bunch of built-in methods, and he can do stuff. Okay, so there's two. So that's going back up to up here, why are we learning about array lists? So number one of the reasons we're doing array lists is they're not fixed. So like this, oh yeah. So this guy's fixed, 0, 1, 2. I can't add on to him, so that's kind of a pain. And then the other thing is he's got these primitives in there they can't do very much. They're still super useful, but so if you want an array that you can add elements to it, you need to use an array list. If you want to have objects in here that can do more stuff, then you could use an array list. So those are the big differences. All right. Okay, so now just like always, to get the full credit for the notes, you have to not only put it right, have me sign off at the very top when you get started, but you're going to actually have to do stuff and have me sign off along the way. The stuff I want you to do is I want you to go to JDoodle. I want you to import an ArrayList package from java.util. I want you to create a new ArrayList that will contain string elements and call it my hobbies and initialize an empty ArrayList using the new keyword. Once you're done with JDoodle, you're going to save it as CodeAcademy 9.2, and then you're going to show it to me and have me sign off. Now you might say that's too much work. It's not too much work. You can do it. Look, the how to do it's right in here. So it's going to import an array list. Well, I'll just tell you to import the array list. It's going to be import java.util.ArrayList semicolon, and that's going to go right up at the top. And then it shows you how to do the other stuff. So you're going to say array list, and then the name, and then you're going to say array list. Wait, no, how do you fill it? Oh, here it is. So here's the example of how to declare and initialize. So you're going to say array list integer ages, and ages equals new array list right there. This is how you create an array list. All right, but we're going to do it. So there's your example. Copy that example into JDoodle. The difference is going to be that the name, it's going to be string, and it's going to be called my hobbies. All right, so then after that, I want you to finish part 2. All right, and ask me for help along the way. That's it for this one.